I must confess I'm more nervous standing up here giving a speech than I was 2 years ago as a nominee out there. When my name was announced then, I hadn't an inkling that anything I had done as a military spouse and a volunteer would be considered anything extraordinary by anyone else. I'm not a limelight kind of gal, so I was quite happy behind the scenes, simply assisting military families who had reached out to their ombudsman or command and family liaison. It might have been a new baby, an urgent need to get a message overseas. I couldn't pay back the corpsman who made house calls, delivering medicine to me and Happy Meals for my kids when I was deathly ill and my husband was in Iraq. The batch of cookies I delivered seemed paltry compared to the act of kindness from the CB down the street, who climbed up on the roof of our newly purchased house to investigate a leak during a late-night storm in Mississippi, and my husband, of course, was not home. There was no way to adequately thank the new neighbors in San Diego military housing, who took my girls to the park and swimming lessons, stocked my freezer with casseroles, and unpacked my boxes because we just moved in the week before, while I was on bed rest with baby number 3 and my husband was on an island training. The pride I feel being a member of this military community, associating with others who simply get it, everybody in this room understands that, and help without being asked, and living in a base housing cul-de-sac full of laughter, Band-Aids, and after-school chaos is a reward in and of itself. Being named the Heroes at Home Military Spouse of the Year was a great honor for me, but it was also an opportunity to engage the greater community by increasing awareness about military families' challenges and encouraging other spouses to answer a call to be involved and advocate for each other. So I congratulate all of you, the 2011 Heroes at Home Military Spouse of the Year nominees. You personify the diversity that is the community of military spouses here in southeastern Virginia. Some of you are veterans, military brats, new to the military, or seasoned spouses with years of deployments behind you and in front of you. There are obvious common themes. You could all pull out that brown ID card and swap scary stories about the commissary on payday, changes in deployment schedules, and how proud we are of our troops. And you could probably carry on that whole conversation in acronyms. You also spend out countless hours at the command and in your communities, and you've all overcome many obstacles with grace and a positive attitude. You also bring your own unique strengths, talents, and experience to the military family community. You're so much more than a label. You're men and women married to service members, but you're also parents, volunteers, advocates, ombudsmen, family readiness group presidents, mentors, students, teachers, and leaders. So that's why, as Laura explained earlier, in 1984, President Reagan proclaimed the Friday before Mother's Day to be Military Spouse Appreciation Day, in recognition of the countless personal sacrifices military spouses have made in support of the armed forces. And that's why in 2005, the Hampton Roads military and civilian community decided to take that a step further and came together to recognize and reward local Air Force, Army, Coast Guard, Marine Corps, and Navy spouses with this award. And this year, First Lady Michelle Obama and Vice President's wife, Dr. Jill Biden, started Joining Forces, a national initiative that mobilizes all sectors of society to give our service members and their families the opportunities and support that they have earned. 1% of Americans, as the Admiral mentioned, may be fighting our wars, but we need 100% of Americans to be supporting our troops and their families. At the Joining Forces website, Americans like that can find service opportunities, send a message of appreciation to a military family, or share their story of support. Dr. Biden said it's not just a conversation, it's a call to action, to say, hey, support a military family, and that's what this is all about. The thanks and messages of support for our troops and their families are everywhere, this week especially. There are many feelings being reported right now, including closure and comfort. My first reaction on hearing the news this weekend of bin Laden's death was pride in the determination and perseverance of our intelligence community and military to have pursued justice for over a decade, culminating in that raid. I also felt vindication for the families of the fallen, both victims of 9/11 and those who have died in the fight since then. Our Hampton Roads community has lost many, and I hope that their families feel like they share in this victory. Upon hearing the news of his death earlier this week, Osama bin Laden's death earlier this week, Cindy Dietz, the mother of a Navy SEAL killed in Afghanistan in 2005, said, "I'm sure that DJ is smiling from above. He's so proud of his brothers that they continued this fight." Some military families, though, recognize that while this news is a relief and an accomplishment for our military, the fight goes on. The war on terror continues, and the deployment schedule marches forward. My friend Jennifer's husband is a Marine who just left on another year-long deployment to the war zone. She was watching the news this week when her 10-year-old daughter looked at her hopefully and asked if this means Daddy gets to come home now. Jen had to take a deep breath before telling her no. Unfortunately, it doesn't. So as military spouses continue the fight against anything and everything that can and does go wrong while holding down the fort, like leaking washing machines, flat tires, sick kids, runaway dogs, and the urge to serve hot dogs, chicken nuggets, or breakfast for dinner every night. And the sometimes overwhelming loneliness of being a single parent, not by choice, but by sacrifice. Appreciation and recognition like today's event is well deserved. So just as Mrs. Obama and Dr. Biden's initiative is designed to inspire, educate, and spark action from all sectors of society, so do you. The strength and resiliency of all of our extraordinary military spouses, both in this room and throughout our community, inspire me to adapt, overcome, and do it all again tomorrow. So thank you for your service and sacrifice, and congratulations to all the nominees who, along with military spouses everywhere, are truly our heroes at home.